Hello everybody and welcome to today's live learning session. I'm looking forward to answering all your questions today. So how the live learning works is that we broadcast live on both Facebook and YouTube. If you go to either Facebook or YouTube while we're broadcasting and watch the broadcast, you'll see that there's a comments box either just below your screen or just to the right of your screen. You can put any questions that you would like in there about your website, your data, the Ezoic tools, or the wider publishing space. And I'll do my very best to answer all of your questions live. Where I'm not able to answer those questions, say, for example, we need additional details from you that if I asked you live on the broadcast would compromise the security of your account, I'll make sure that you've got a secure next step so that you know where to go to get the answers that you need and we can keep your account secure. So while we're waiting for the first questions to come in, I've just got a couple of things that I wanted to show you through this morning. So the first is if we go to the Ezoic community, you can see that there's a featured discussion here about Access Now Success, Q&A, high ticket affiliate marketing. We did a Q&A session yesterday about high ticket affiliate marketing, and I brought to you some slides as well to talk you through that. We had a really good suggestion about putting the slides as part of the community thread so that you folks can look back over them. So I'm going to do that later today so that you can also take a look at the slides, or if you prefer, watch the broadcast back. If you have any questions after you read through the slides or after you watch the broadcast, do let me know in that thread. I'll keep an eye on it and I'll be happy to answer any questions that you have. Okay, so next thing that I wanted to show you on community, just while we're waiting for our first question to come in, is the chat box at the bottom here. So I'm not going to click on it because it will bring it up, but sometimes we're going to message you in community and say that we've sent you a private message. And I just wanted to show you in the bottom of my screen here, if you can see it, where it's got Mark P written there. That's one of my colleagues. That's what the chat will look like. So there's just a black box in the bottom of your screen, and when you click on it, you'll be able to open it up and be able to reply to our questions. This is a way that we use to be able to speak to you and ask for security information or ask you to do certain tasks that we don't want to put on your public profile, and this way, by having that private chat, we can get you the information that you need and get the answers that we need to move your query forward, but also do it in a way that's secure. Only the admins at Ezoic can see your answers, and so it's not public at all. Okay, so the next thing that I wanted to show you through today was on the Ezoic blog. Now, if you've been on one of my live sessions before, you'll know that I often like to share the Ezoic blog. It's got a wealth of information on here that's regularly updated, and so definitely worth checking out. You can sign up to the newsletter here as well. So I know how busy you folks are and how much you're juggling. So rather than sort of adding something else to your to-do list, if you put your email address into the Join Our newsletter box, the updated blogs will come straight to you rather than you having to search through them. And there was just a couple that I wanted to highlight today that when you've got some time, I thought would be worth looking at. So this one here, the Publisher Lab ChatGPT, is Ezoic's insight into what we think about ChatGPT, where we think it's going to be going in the future. And then this one, which I thought would be interesting, it's certainly one that I'm really interested in, is about how to create a simple faceless YouTube channel. So you'll have noticed that you don't see me on these live sessions, you just hear me, and that's because I find it quite overwhelming to be on camera at the same time as answering questions. And so for myself, I was quite interested in this article about how to create YouTube channels without being sort of front and center of the production. With this, our marketing team have given you examples and top tips of how you can create this YouTube channel without being front and center of it. And what I really liked about this article is about the 4 tips at the end, so that if you are super busy, and I know how much you are juggling as publishers, you can just scroll right to the bottom of the article and get the 4 tips, so that you know this article is right for you, and then when you've got more time can take a look at it in more detail. So what I'll do is I'll pop both of these links straight into the comment section there. So if you've got time, do bookmark those and come back to them later. Like I say, well worth a read to find out more about it. So I'll just pop that in there for you. And if you do have any questions that you would like to ask about Ezoic or your website or the Ezoic tools, wider publishing space, please feel free to pop the questions in the comments there. I'll look out for them and be able to answer them for you just as soon as I can. Okay, and then the next thing I wanted to show you through is, while we're waiting for any questions to come in, is the Levels Access Now dashboard. So if you click on here and click on the Levels dashboard, it opens up the Levels program. And what you can see here is you can get help from the help community. You can be sent straight to our support help center by clicking on here. So if you do have a problem that you're trying to work through, going to our support help center is the first place to go to. There's a wealth of articles on there that can help you troubleshoot the issue that you're having. After that, going to the help community and reading through the articles or searching through there, you may find that someone else has asked your question before, and you're able to troubleshoot that for yourself. And of course, if you can't find the answer or need additional information, reaching out to the community team will answer your query just as soon as you can. There's myself and my colleague Mark on the UK time zone, and on the US time zone there's Alan and JP as well answering your questions. So you've got two different teams helping support you there with your queries. I also just wanted to show you through this Levels dashboard. It's got a wealth of information here, which can be really useful for publishers to be able to find out how to grow their business, what area to focus on. Like I say, I totally understand how difficult it is to be juggling so many different things as a publisher, and you really need to be able to get answers quickly, don't you? So that the precious time that you have got to work on your site isn't spent sort of thinking, oh, what should I do next, that you've already got a program to go through. So this Levels overview board I find really interesting, because when you look at it, it shows you how much of your visits and how much of your revenue goals you've achieved in the last closed month. So for this site, it's one of our sites that we use to do demonstrations on. They achieved 100% of their revenue for January towards the level 1 goal, and for their January visits they achieved 86% of their visits goal. Now what we can look at this and sort of what our next steps would be is to think, okay, our goal is to get to level 1, and you can see underneath the padlock here that level 1 is the next step. And if you click on the green writing, it would open up the Levels dashboard there for you. With the level 1, once you get to that, what happens is additional support opens up for you. So once you reach level 1, you can open up tickets directly in your Ezoic dashboard. It also puts you on the premium waitlist as well. So when you reach level 1, our AI starts looking at your traffic and checks it to see if it would be a good fit for our premium advertisers. If you don't get invited at level 1, it doesn't matter. It doesn't mean that you're not ever going to get invited to the program. It just means that at that point in time, your traffic isn't quite what our premium advertisers are looking for. And so it gives you the incentive to keep working on your traffic, building your content, your brand, and your marketing as well. So Shakti has said, keep up the good work. Thank you so much for the support, Shakti. I really appreciate that. And I'll pass that on to our teams as well. They'll be thrilled to hear that. Thank you for your feedback. Okay, so if we now go to the scores button here, what we can see when we put the scores live is all the different optimization opportunities that we've got. So if you click on the downward arrow, you'll be able to see the different boxes that open up. If something's 100 out of 100, we can be confident that that's filled in correctly and there's no further work that we need to do. So as you can see with this site being a dummy site, that it's very well set up. But you will find that some of the boxes on your setup may need some additional work to them. So when you see anything that's less than 100 out of 100, so for example on this one, author tracking, if we click on it, a pop-up box will appear. And this will talk you through why this pop-up is there in terms of why it's important, and then also what you can do to get this set up correctly so that you can get 100 out of 100 for this score as well. With the optimization settings, what you're looking to do is get an overall score that's as close to 100 as you can. Obviously, we totally understand there's going to be some restrictions that you want to perhaps place on your site, or there's going to be some things, for example, the author tracking. If you're not working with a team of writers, then there's no need to get that set up if it's just yourself. But by getting as many of the boxes 100 out of 100 as you can, you're going to feel really confident that you've got your Ezoic dashboard optimized and well set up. And then also one other thing to bring to your attention is the news feed. So you'll often see messages from myself here. About once a week, I'll send a message out to you, which will talk you through some aspect of either the live learning sessions that we're doing, or the interesting articles that I found that I really wanted to talk to you about, or ideas in terms of how you can grow your business. Some of them, like this one, will have a link in them which takes you through to the community where there's more information on there as well. Obviously it's quite a small space here, so what I'll do with these is give you the basic information, and then in the community threads I'm able to go into more details as well. Okay, so I hope that was helpful. I sometimes think the Ezoic dashboard, there's lots of buttons on there, and can be quite overwhelming in terms of all the different features that we've got. So just wanted to talk you all through this today. If you do have any questions, feel free to pop them in the comments there. I'd be happy to answer any questions that you've got about Ezoic or the wider publishing space, your data, any questions that you have that you would like some answers to, just pop them in the comments there. With these sessions, if there's no questions that come in, I do finish them early. That enables me to answer questions in community or on tickets and get back to people as quickly as I can. So I'll stay online for another few minutes if no other questions come in, and then I will close today. So just while we're waiting for any questions to come in, just wanted to let you know about a webinar that's being held later today at 9 a.m. to 9:30 Pacific Standard Time. This is a webinar about how to use Flickify for video revenue. I've been working with some publishers who are Access Now, who have got small traffic coming to their own site, but by using Flickify, they have been able to create videos and then put them on Humix, then use the grow and share functionality within Humix to then be able to allow those videos to be shown on other publishers' sites. And some publishers have earned $1 or $2 extra over a few days. Some it's been $10. I've even seen one publisher who's earned $100 each day for a few days by their videos being picked up by these bigger sites. So definitely worth taking a look at. Can make a big difference to your brand in terms of getting your brand out there. Can really help with your traffic as well as your revenue as well. By just having video on your website, the difference it can make is that Google can see that you've got a multimedia aspect to your site, and reportedly Google really likes to see videos on sites, so that kind of gives you a tick in the box from Google's point of view. But also from a search ranking point of view, videos can rank higher than written content as well, so it can help bring traffic to your site as well as help benefit you from a search result point of view as well. So Shakti has said, no questions from my end. As usual, the webinar is super helpful. You're so welcome, Shakti. I'm really glad it is helpful. And thank you for letting me know that you don't have any questions. Good to hear that just me talking through the dashboard has been helpful enough. So thank you so much for your feedback today. I really appreciate it. Okay, so I'll stay on the line for another couple of minutes more, just in case we do have any more questions that come in. One thing else that I wanted to take you through just while we're here is your cache hit rate. So you can see with the cache hit rate on this site that it is a 78.3 cache hit rate, and that's an average over the last 30 days. As we look at the squiggly line, so these dots are a representation of the cache on each day, and it'll actually say the particular date your cache was hitting on. So what can happen sometimes is if you clear your cache manually, or say you change name servers and your site's offline for a period of time, obviously the cache isn't hitting, and then you change them back because you've moved hosting. And what can happen is you can see these dips in the cache hit rate that can happen over that time period, and that puts the averages down. But what you can see is if you hover over the dots, that when the cache is hitting again, what the result is going to be. And obviously as the time moves forward, this particular cache hit rate will improve its averages as well. Okay, so we've got our first question that's come in from Matthews Ahoto. Thank you so much, Matthews Ahoto, and thank you for joining me today. It's good to catch up with you again. So Matthews Ahoto has said, hi Heather, after making changes to placeholders, how long does the Ezoic AI take to optimize the site? That's a really good question. So it depends how many changes that you've made, and it also depends on how much traffic you have. So if the changes that you've made are equivalent to removing all your placeholders and restarting, or that kind of level of placeholder optimization, then it can take up to 12 weeks for the AI to optimize your site. This is why we always recommend between the period of September and December to do minimal changes to your site. September to December isn't the time to be changing your theme. It's not the time to be doing complete placeholder resets, because that's traditionally the peak period for EPMV. And what's going to happen is over that peak period, our AI is going to be relearning how your readers react to your site. And that's going to mean that you're not going to be getting as higher EPMV over that peak time as you could be. So at this time of year, when EPMV rates are low, now is a really good time to change themes, to optimize your ad placeholders, because the impact on your EPMV is going to be minimal. So say if you've just done a couple of changes, maybe you've seen that there's a couple of ad placeholders missing on a longer article, and you add those in, or you have added a sidebar in, and have added new placeholders in there. The AI system is going to take a lot less time to be able to understand that you've made changes and understand how your readers are going to be reacting, because it's already got data points that are in all the other ad placeholders, and it's just adding to the data it already has. Now, it's difficult to say a sort of specific or even a ballpark figure of how long that will take. And the reason for that is because it does really depend on the volume of traffic you've got coming to your site. And it does really depend on, how big those changes are, how many pages your readers are going to on your site. As you can imagine, somebody who's got, a couple of thousand readers coming to their coming to their website every day and going to multiple pages, that's going to generate a lot of data very quickly, as opposed to a smaller site who's just starting out, who might only have, say, 10 or 50 readers coming to their website page, and those readers may only be going to 1 or 2 pages, and they may be the same 1 or 2 pages or very similar. And so this is going to give us less data points for the AI to optimize. So I hope that helps. If you have any follow-up questions, do let me know. I'll stay on the line for a few minutes more, just in case there are any more questions that do come in. I do these sessions every Wednesday at 9 a.m. GMT. It is a really good opportunity for myself to connect in with you all. So I really do love doing them, and it gives you folks the opportunity to be able to ask the questions and get the answer live as well. So we've got our next question that's come in from Healthy Being Style. Hi, Healthy Being Style. So Healthy Being Style has said, hi, how can I maximize my earnings? So that's a really good question. If you first of all, go to your levels dashboard, Healthy Being Style, and click on the levels dashboard button here, and then click on the scores. That will take you through all the different optimization scores that we've got within the Ezoic dashboard. So if you click on them here, you can click on the drop downs, anything that's less than 100 out of 100. So for example, this auto tracking one here is less than 100 out of 100. If you click on it, a pop-up box will open, and it will take you through the reasons why we've got this optimization setting, and also give you documentation as well to help you to be able to work through the steps and be able to get that set up. So that's the very first thing you want to do, is make sure that you've got your website well optimized with those settings. Now, when you put the settings on, it can take 24 hours or more for the change to pull through. So please don't be worried that, oh, well, I've changed it today and in the morning, and then I've come back later this evening and the scores are still the same. It's okay. So what happens is these scores were taken at the last time we updated the dashboard within the scores, and that gets updated every 24 hours. So if you come back the next day, you'll start to see changes. And it's also important to note that some of the changes are percentages as well. So you might see the score 100 out of 100 start off at 0, and then a few days it might be a couple of percent, and then building up from there. So once you've done that, the next thing to do is go to Flickrfy and get that switched on, and use it to convert your Flickrfy videos from your text. So we've got a live webinar today about that. So taking a look at that will really help you to grow your revenue. And then also Humix as well. So what you want to do with Humix is have Humix switched on and have both the grow and share functions switched on within the Humix dashboard. So if we click on this button here and you go to your channel, you need to make sure you've both got the grow and the engage functions switched on. So grow enables you to share your videos on other people's websites, and that can really help with your revenue. And engage helps you to share other people's videos from their websites onto your website. And you can click the change button here, and you can make the relevancy of those videos more or less relevant. So depending on your niche, you might want to make the videos really relevant, because you only want videos that are connected to your particular topic to be on there. Or if you're not too worried and it's more about the revenue, then obviously you want to make that video relevancy a lot less. So once you've done that, the next step after that is to go to Niche IQ. Make sure on the settings you've got your Google Search Console linked, and then go to topics. And what will happen is it takes roughly a month for the topic suggestions to start pulling through once you've connected your Google Search Console and switched on topics. And rather than going through the keyword process, which can take a lot of time, we save you all that time, and you can just click on topic suggestions, see what our AI has collected for you in terms of keywords, and then pick that topic and then write about it. So that saves you a lot of time. It also means that you know that the search volume of the traffic, what's that like, also how difficult it's going to be to rank for that particular keyword. So obviously the higher the difficulty, the more difficult it's going to be to rank for it. And then you can also change the AI's learning process as well. So if you hover over the 3 dots, you can see that you can hide the topic, mark it as covered, and report as offensive. So it is AI, and it does need a bit of training over time. So if when you first log on, you're seeing that the keywords aren't relevant to your particular niche, then going through that training process over a week or 2 will help the AI to understand it better. So I hope that helps. Healthy being style. The steps there as well. If you go to the Ezoic community and type in Access Now Success. So if you type in Access, sorry, apologies, can't spell and type at the same time. Bear with me. If you type in Access Now Success there, you'll be able to see all the articles that I've written. And I put Access Now Success at the start of them to help make it easier for you to find. So if you go to this article about how can I increase my EPMV, and also how to plan your content for success in 2023, this will really help you to set up your website for success and be able to improve your EPMV. So what I'll do is I'll copy and paste those articles into the chat there, so you can bookmark them and take a look at them later. Bear with me, I'll just get the article about the content as well. There we go. So that's both of those articles there for you. Like I say, if you bookmark them and take a look at them later, that will help you work through improving your EPMV. So I hope it helps. Do let us know if you've got any follow-up questions after that. So Matthew Soto has said, thanks, well understood. You're so welcome. I'm really glad I was able to help you today. So Healthy Being Stan has said, a follow-up question. I receive an average of 300 views per day, but my earnings aren't adding up at just earning $10 an average. Can you assist setting Ezoic adds up on my site? So what can be happening with your earnings, and it's difficult to say without looking at it directly, but what you might find is that you're getting readers from countries that have a lower value EPMV. So the countries that have a higher value EPMV are America, UK, Australia, Canada. They tend to have the highest average EPMVs. After that, it tends to be Europe, and then underneath that, it tends to be countries like India, and then the continent of Africa as well, tends to, on average, have lower EPMVs than, say, US or UK. So what you might find is that you're getting getting traffic from these lower EPMV countries, which is why your EPMV is so low. What I would recommend doing is working through those articles that we've talked through and going through those steps. That will first of all help you to get your Ezoic dashboard well set up and start using Flickify and Humix and Niche IQ, which can really help you with your EPMV. We did experiments, I think it was towards the end of last year, and we looked at data for sites that were using Flickify as well as Humix fully, so the grow and the share functionality. And sites that were doing that earned an average of 15% higher EPMV than those that weren't. So definitely worth starting from that point and going through your optimizations, because you may find you've got lots of restrictions on your site, which is also impacting your EPMV as well. Once you've done that and worked through the articles that I've shared, if you do have any questions about, you're not sure how to work something, or you're not sure, whether you should switch something on or switch something off, I can totally understand that dilemma, because I think it's really hard, isn't it, to make those decisions. Do head over to community and ask us, and we'll be happy to take a detailed look at your site and let you know what our advice is. Starting with those optimization settings will really help you in the first instance. Okay, so Imran Sati has said, how long does Ezoic cache take to complete? I have reached to 61% in 15 days. Okay, so this is great news that you've got Ezoic cache set up. So well done from getting that set up. What I think is happening is one of two things. Either everything's okay and it's just because we're at the 15-day mark, and if we go back to the dashboard here, just to show you, you can see this is the last 30 days, and this cache hit rate is 78.3, and in the last sort of 3 or 4 days the cache hit rate has been 100%, and we've got 81% here, and so what's happening is this figure here is the average of the days where the cache wasn't completely hitting. This is when it was just first getting set up, or when the cache was being cleared, and so the averages are lower because of that. What I would recommend doing in Ransati is making sure that you've got the Ezoic CDN manager set up, and that once that is set up, you're no longer clearing your cache, because once the CDN manager is set up, the CDN manager will be able to read your site and update the smallest of change and just pull through that change on that particular page, rather than clearing the cache for the whole site. This helps keep your cache hit rate higher. Can also help with the overall speed of your site, the user experience metrics, the core web vitals, and can help us to deliver ads faster as well. So really important to get your cache hit rate right. Let me go and get that article and I'll pop it into the chat there so you can bookmark it for later. I'll be back in just a moment. Okay, so I've popped that support article into the chat there. You should be able to bookmark that straight from the comments, and then you'll be able to work through that later. It does take you through a detailed step-by-step process of how to set up the CDN manager. It can sound quite overwhelming, can't it? A sort of CDN manager, and oh gosh, I've got to go through this process. But it's not too difficult to do. Just take your time and work your way through that. If you do get stuck at any point and you're not sure what to do, if you reach out into community and say, hey, I'm working through this article, if you give us the article and say, okay, I'm at, say, point 3, I'm not really sure, how to find this information or what to do. This really helps us to be able to give you the support that you need and help you find your way forward on that next step. So if you do need any further support, do reach out to us. We'd be happy to help. Okay, so I'll give it another couple of minutes just to see if any more questions do come through, and then close it for today. So just as a reminder, the live learning sessions that we've got coming up is a webinar this evening, which is how to use Flickrfy for video revenue. You can see that in your Ezoic dashboard, and you can register straight from there. And then I do these live learning sessions every Wednesday at 9 a.m. GMT. So you're more than welcome to join me. I'd love to answer any questions that you have as part of that. Okay, so we've got our next question that's come in. So this is from Imran Sati. Thank you so much for your questions. So the question is, there are ads on my site in between the lists, answers of long content. They are in content ads, but I don't want them to appear between the lists as it's bad for user experience. I got the ad set up by Ezoic through raising a ticket. Okay. So with these ads, what I would recommend doing in this particular instance is go back to the ticket and let them know that you're seeing the ads between the lists. With these ads, what they could be is one of 3 different ad types, depending on how you requested the ads to be set up. So they could be on the Chrome extension. So with that, what you would need to do is go into each ad and remove that ad either from that particular page or from the website itself. So that can take quite a bit of time to do. They might be through our new process of setting up ads. So this is done by AI. And the team, if it has been done by AI, can teach the AI to remove those ads from the list, so they can do that for you, and that will help the AI to learn how your website is set up and ensure that across your whole site those ads don't appear in the list. Or it could be that they've set the ads up using the WordPress plugin, and again through that they'll then be able to adjust those ads to remove them between the lists, or talk you through how to do that. What I'll do is, just for reference, is I'll get the article which talks you through how to remove the WordPress plugin ad placeholders between the lists. Bear with me, I will just go and get that for you. I've just popped the article in there which talks you through how to set up the ad taster placeholders with the Ezoic WordPress plugin. And as part of that, there's a troubleshooting guide as well, where you can work through how to remove those ad placeholders from the content areas that you don't want them to be shown in. With the team setting them up, I'm not sure which way they would have set up those ad placeholders for you. So what I would recommend, if you've already got a ticket open, talk about that article so you've got it for reference, but go back to the team in that ticket. If you send them the URL where you're seeing the ad placeholders in the list, the team will be able to use that information to retrain the ad placeholders or remove them as well. So I hope that helps. If you do have any more questions, do let me know. I'd be happy to answer them for you. Okay, so if there's no more questions coming in, I'll close for today. Just want to thank you all so much for joining me today and for the questions that you've had for me. I'll be doing my next live learning session Wednesday at 9 a.m. GMT. So do join me then. I'll look forward to answering your questions. And if you've got any questions in the meantime, do reach out to us on community. There's a team of 4 people on there, 2 in the US and 2 in the UK, who'd be delighted to help you and get you the answers that you need. So I hope you all have a great week. Thanks again for joining me. Take care. Bye for now.